Forcing a ruling by this guy, Justice Alexander de Moraes, to censor X. It's essentially a censoring of X, even though that censoring violates the Brazilian Constitution itself, the Constitution Justice Moraes is supposed to defend. Isn't the real problem Justice Moraes and not the head of Anatel?
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. Ultimately, Anatel is the one that's enforcing it, and they're my regulatory counterparts there, so that was an appropriate place to start to speak up was to them directly. But this is a really concerning story that has lots of elements to it. On the one hand, it looks like it's part of this global surge in censorship that we're seeing taking place across the world, and it is. But it's also a real concern for doing business in Brazil. If you look at business leaders in the U.S. like Bill Ackman, he's questioned whether this decision puts Brazil on the path to becoming uninvestable. And I think he's right, because not only did they go after X in violation of Brazil's own constitution, in my view, but they went after Starlink, which is a separate company with different shareholders, and froze their assets. That's a very concerning move if you're doing business in Brazil to see that.
Well, it was a punitive move. That's clear. It had nothing to do with the violation. But even the order itself, you say, violates due process. How does it do that?
Yeah, leading up to this decision, they were issuing a series of secret orders directing X and other social media companies to censor the political opponents in government. So the Brazilian senators and representatives that are in opposition to Brazil's incumbent government, the Lula administration. And only when X said, look, we're not going to do this in secret, did they start to take these punitive actions. And if you look at the underlying judicial decision, it mentions in 13 or 14 different places